Welcome to Chandigarh, a union territory in northern India that serves as the joint capital of the Indian states of Punjab and Haryana. Chandigarh was a grand social experiment started in 1952 by former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Swiss architect Jean-Pierre Le Corbusier, who wished to create a city where democratic socialism gave individual rights and increased living standards to all its inhabitants. When viewed statistically, Chandigarh may appear to be fulfilling its goals. It possesses the highest per capita income rate and Human Development Index in India, a country known for its problems regarding poverty and proliferation of slums. While Chandigarh has achieved prosperity on average, there is a sharp social divide that exists today. Over one-third of its population lives in slums on the outskirts of the planned city, unable to find proper housing within the official city limits due to overpopulation. Chandigarh, because of its inflexible planning, has developed class divisions due to unexpected overpopulation, thus failing to stay true to its founder's original purpose of social equality. An examination of Chandigarh's historical development provides an insight into why it failed to reach its intended goals. When Nehru envisioned his new city, he desired the following for its inhabitants: equal rights for all communities in the Indian family, rising standards of living for the masses, and the preservation of individual rights. To achieve these goals, Le Corbusier originally designed the residential areas to promote social justice. He split the living section of his plan into neighborhood sectors, dividing peoples of different social classes amongst them accordingly. Le Corbusier recognized that social classes were a reality. However, he strove to give all the inhabitants of his planned city equal core rights and resources. All sectors were given the same necessities: a central area with commodities such as shops, health centers, and places of worship. To prevent individuals from gaining too much power, Le Corbusier introduced many regulations and mechanisms to oversee the construction of residential buildings. These included zoning policies to limit property area and frames control to regulate building heights, making sure no house stood too high over another. It was when Le Corbusier's plans were executed that problems began to arise. Due to financial issues, the master plan's construction was split into two phases. In Phase 1, sectors 1 to 30 would be built, and in Phase 2, sectors 31 to 47 would be built. The construction of Phase 1, which lasted from 1966 to 1968, was mostly consistent with Le Corbusier's plans, and most of the important parts of the master plan were built, such as the Capitol Complex, City Center, and many neighborhood sectors. However, Phase 2's construction saw the influx of population caused by the economic growth created by Phase 1. In order to keep up with the population growth, the new residential sector's densities were increased, and smaller, multi-storied residential apartments were built. The population continued to grow even after construction ended in the 1990s, and several neighboring villages were built to accommodate the numerous immigrants. Meanwhile, the housing costs were steadily increasing due to the now antiquated property regulations instilled by Le Corbusier, forcing even more people to live in the surrounding villages and slums. Chandigarh's planners, including Le Corbusier, poorly predicted the population growth that would result from its construction and subsequent economic prosperity. As a result, the people suffered the loss of the rights that Nehru promised them, despite the burgeoning economic growth. Because the planners focused on achieving economic prosperity rather than concentrating their efforts on the increasing populace's welfare, they lost sight of their original goals for the people. Chandigarh was intended to serve as a city for the people. Its original design by Le Corbusier aimed to give its populace individual rights and increased living standards. However, because of an unexpectedly high population growth, planners compromised these original values of social justice in favor of economic prosperity. The story of Chandigarh raises an important question. Should governments value the individual's importance over that of society as a whole, or should they value society over the individual? Chandigarh was designed for the sake of the individuals, but it has chosen to focus on its own prosperity as a whole, resulting in social inequality. Some may see Chandigarh as a great achievement, but in reality it has achieved goals different than those envisioned by its founders, failing to fulfill their dreams as a city of true social equality.